तनाव में जो सूक्ष्म लघु मध्यम उद्योग या कुटीर या गृह उद्योग हैं, उनकी इन परिस्थितियों को देखकर गौण कर्ज या अधीनस्थ ऋण के रूप में 20,000 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान इन स्ट्रेस्ड एमएसएमईज के लिए किया गया है, ताकि इनकी जो कमी आती थी उस कमी को दूर किया जा सके। और इसमें भी लगभग 2 लाख से ज़्यादा मध्यम लघु सूक्ष्म कुटीर उद्योग को लाभ मिलने वाला है। और ये 20,000 करोड़ का गौण ऋण ये तनाव वाली एमएसएमईज को दिया जाएगा।
The next of the MSME linked steps that we are taking, this is the third. There is a fund being created for infusing about 50,000 crore as equity into the MSMEs. This will benefit those MSMEs who have the potential and who are viable. So we spoke about those who are standard, we spoke about those who are NPAs and stressed. Now I'm talking about MSMEs who may be doing viable business and who need hand-holding because of the situation thanks to the COVID. So this fund with a corpus of 10,000 crores through mother fund and daughter fund framework will be able to provide the growth potential MSMEs greater support, and this we think will help MSMEs to expand their capacities, and this will also encourage them eventually to get listed in the markets which they can choose.
जो मध्यम लघु सूक्ष्म उद्योग अच्छा कर रहे हैं, विस्तार करना चाहते हैं, आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, लेकिन उनके आकार को बढ़ाने की, क्षमता को बढ़ाने की सुविधाएं नहीं मिल पाती थी, तो उसके लिए फंड्स ऑफ फंड्स का प्रावधान किया गया है। और इस फंड्स ऑफ फंड्स के माध्यम से 50,000 करोड़ की इक्विटी इन्फ्यूजन होगी, ये हम करने जा रहे हैं। इससे इन सभी अच्छा काम करने वाले मध्यम लघु सूक्ष्म उद्योगों को अपना आकार और क्षमता बढ़ाने का अवसर मिलेगा।
The next one is something which all of us have been waiting for a long time, about the definition of MSMEs. I'm sure you heard from several sources that this discussion has been going on. We have now come to a stage where we can happily announce that the definition being changed is being changed in favor of the MSMEs. Because there was always this fear in very successful MSMEs also, that if they outgrow the size of what is defined as an MSME, they'll lose the benefits that they get as an MSME itself. So outgrowing this definition meant outgrowing and going out of receiving benefits. Therefore, MSMEs preferred to remain within the definition rather than grow. Now what we are coming with is a change in the definition of MSME so that they need not worry about growing in size. They will still be able to get quite a lot of benefits which otherwise as an MSME they had got. So now how do we change it? I told you why we are changing the definition. How are the changes being brought about? What exactly is the change which is coming in? The change is that investment limit which defined an MSME is being revised upwards. So you can be a slightly more larger invested company, but you're still going to be considered only as an MSME. And then I'll come to the amounts which is shown in the chart there. But the idea is, even with an increased investment, you'll still be defined only as an MSME. You shall not get out of the benefit which is given to you as an MSME. Second is, additional criteria to define an MSME is being brought in. And that criteria is based on turnover. So that is being brought in newly now. Earlier it was only investment size. Now investment size and or additional turnover size is being brought in. And earlier, the distinction which prevailed between manufacturing unit, and therefore their definition was on slightly different account. Service units, their definition was on slightly different criteria. Now that differentiation between manufacturing and service MSME are being removed. Manufacturing MSME or service-based MSME shall all be defined similarly. And then, therefore, the chart that is there before you will tell you what was earlier and what is now. What was earlier defined with an investment of 25 lakh as micro unit will now have investment allowed till 1 crore. So they will still be called a micro unit even if the investment is up to 1 crore. Now, in that, service investments of 10 lakhs were called as micro earlier. Now, because the distinction is removed, service also will have the benefit of being called a micro unit even if the investment is 1 crore. Over and above it, I did say that in addition to investment as a definitional criteria, we are bringing in the criteria of turnover also. So now your investment can be up to 1 crore and your turnover can be up to 5 crore. You shall be called as micro. This or that. Your investment can be 1 crore and your turnover can be 5 crore, up to 5 crore, you will be micro enterprise. And so on. So small will be up to 5 crore, manufacturing enterprise. Services was up to 2 crore. Now the definition is changed to 10 crores and 50 crores. Investment and turnover, and so on. The table explains it.
सूक्ष्म लघु मध्यम उद्योग में इसकी परिभाषा में कम दहलीज होने के कारण ये लगातार संकट रहता था कि अगर हम इससे बाहर जाएंगे तो हमें जो हमारे बेनिफिट्स मिलते हैं, लाभ मिलते हैं, उससे हाथ धोना पड़ेगा। और यही कारण था कि हमारे कुटीर सूक्ष्म लघु उद्योग कभी बड़ा बनने का सपना नहीं देखते थे, और सपना देखते भी थे तो ये जो सीमा इसके लिए रखी गई थी, कम दहलीज थी, इसके कारण ये बड़े नहीं हो पाते थे। और कहीं ना कहीं जो आज कंपटीशन है उसमें फिर ये बहुत पीछे रह जाते थे। वर्षों लंबित मांग है, वर्षों से मैं सुनता आ रहा हूँ, चौथी बार एमपी बन गया, कब से शुरू हो रही, आज तक वही मांग है। मैं धन्यवादी हूँ प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने इस पर ये कदम उठाने के लिए कहा है। और जो पहले क्राइटेरिया था कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट जो है वो 25 लाख से कम इन्वेस्टमेंट की होगी तो माइक्रो में आएगा, और सर्विस एंटरप्राइजेज जो थी वो 10 लाख तक की अगर उसने इन्वेस्टमेंट की होगी तो माइक्रो में आएगा। अब इसमें एक बदलाव किया गया है कि निवेश की लिमिट को तो बढ़ाया ही गया है, साथ में कारोबार को भी जोड़ा गया कि आपने व्यवसाय या कारोबार कितना उस वर्ष में किया है। तो इसको इन्वेस्टमेंट को बढ़ाकर माइक्रो के लिए 25 लाख से बढ़ाकर 1 करोड़ तक की जो इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा वो माइक्रो यूनिट कहलाएगा। और ये मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और सर्विसेज दोनों के लिए एक ही क्राइटेरिया रहेगा, तो सर्विस सेक्टर को भी माइक्रो में आने का लाभ मिला है। तो 1 करोड़ से कम निवेश करने वाले को माइक्रो इंडस्ट्री में जो 5 करोड़ तक का व्यापार कारोबार करेगा उसको माइक्रो कहा जाएगा। स्मॉल वाले के लिए 10 करोड़ तक का निवेश और 50 करोड़ तक का कारोबार करने का प्रावधान, और मीडियम जो है उसमें 20 करोड़ तक का निवेश और 100 करोड़ तक की टर्नओवर। तो आप कल्पना कीजिए कि कल तक जो शायद मीडियम वाले के लिए आता था वो आज आपके स्मॉल वाले के लिए भी उससे बेहतर ऑप्शंस आकर खड़ी हो गई। तो इससे हमारे कुटीर सूक्ष्म लघु मध्यम उद्योग को बहुत बल मिलने वाला है। एक और बैंकों का हाथ पकड़ना, पैसा देना, दूसरी तरफ से डेफिनेशन चेंज करके उनके आकार और क्षमता को बढ़ाने का अवसर देना, ये अपने आप में क्रांतिकारी कदम इस दिशा में लिया गया है।
I move to the fifth step in the MSMEs. I said total 6 measures have been are getting announced today. Of the 6, the 5th one is that for government procurement, tenders up to 200 crores will no longer be on global tender route, meaning global tenders will be disallowed in government procurement for tenders up to 200 crores. Why is this being done? Majority of the MSMEs in India were unable to supply those big mother units, as you may call, big, large companies, who they were serving all the while. Suddenly the conditions became, based on the global tenders, unmatchable by our MSMEs. So they were disqualified from supplying to companies for whom they actually grew as ancillary units. As a result, many of our MSMEs were not anymore able to participate in supplying products to many of these large units. So by bringing this condition now, we are saying for global tenders worth 200 crores or less, particularly for government procurement, they need not be global tenders at all. So this will make MSMEs do their business with a lot more confidence and carry on with it. Serve Make in India, because small units can now be participant in government purchases.
पिछली 2 स्लाइड्स में भी आपने देखा होगा जो बड़े कि 3 लाख करोड़ के कोलेटरल फ्री और कोई नई गारंटी दिए बिना एक और से ऋण उपलब्ध करवाना, उसके अलावा जो बाकी कदम उठाए गए और उनकी परिभाषा बदलने का काम भी किया गया, तो ये कदम उससे एक और स्तर ऊपर है कि ये सब बदलने के बाद उनको कामकाज जब मिले तो कंपटीशन में कहीं ना कहीं अनफेयरनेस जो होती थी उसमें हमारे लोकल उद्योग वो पीछे रह जाते थे। तो लोकल को बल, लोकल से ग्लोबल तक जाने की बात जो कल तक प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कही, उसी दिशा में एक ये कदम है। लोकल के लिए वोकल भी, लोकल को बल भी, लोकल से ग्लोबल भी। तो ये इसीलिए ग्लोबल टेंडर्स जो हैं ये 200 करोड़ तक से कम वाले जो हैं, इसमें यानी कि 200 करोड़ से कम वाले में ग्लोबल टेंडर्स नहीं होंगे। इसमें हमारे सूक्ष्म लघु मध्यम उद्योग को लाभ मिलेगा और कहीं ना कहीं आत्मनिर्भर भारत की जो हम बात करते हैं उस दिशा में कदम ये भी उठाया गया है।
The 6th step towards MSMEs is post-COVID, trade fairs, exhibitions are going to be very difficult. So we shall ensure that e-market linkage is provided across the board for all these MSMEs so that they're able to find their market easily in the absence of being able to participate in trade fairs which cannot be held in this environment. Also, very importantly, Government of India and also CPSEs, where there are receivables by MSMEs, we now announce that within the next 45 days, all their receivables will be cleared. The CPSEs and Government of India will honor every MSME receivable within the next 45 days.
इसी तरह से एक बार फिर कुटीर, सूक्ष्म, लघु, मध्यम उद्योग के लिए ये जो चुनौतियां कोविड-19 के समय शुरू हुई कि घरों तक सीमित होना पड़ा और आप कहीं जाकर सामान बेचने में दुविधा आती थी, तो ई मार्केट लिंकेज करने की बात की, क्योंकि ई कॉमर्स का आजकल ज़माना भी आया है, वो भी होगा। और इसके अलावा व्यापार मेलों में कैसे वो इन्वॉल्व हो सके, उनका शामिल होना हो, प्रदर्शनियों में उनकी पार्टिसिपेशन हो सके, इसके लिए कदम उठाए जाएंगे। और जो हमारे सार्वजनिक केंद्र उपक्रम है उसमें जो अगर उनके कोई पेंडिंग पेमेंट्स है, सरकारी है या PSUs में है, उनको भी अगले 45 दिनों में बल देकर वापस उनकी पेमेंट हो, ऐसा प्रयास किया जाएगा ताकि जल्द से जल्द उनकी पेमेंट हो, ताकि उनको राहत मिल सके।
I now move to talking about EPF. You were aware during the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan package, some measures were extended for the EPF. In that, we had said units which have 100 workers, 90% of whom are earning less than 15,000 rupees, will be able to draw from their EPF from the funds because they needed money in their hands. We have now, and for the 3 months, the payment of EPF also was given relaxation. What I would now like to say before you is a liquidity relief is being given for all EPF establishments. In this, 12% which is paid by the employer and 12% by the employee contribution. We extend the support which Government of India gave for another 3 months. We had given it for March, April, and May up to May 2020. The payments were made into their eligible accounts by Government of India for March, April, and May. Nearly 3.6 lakh establishments benefited from this. Liquidity relief of 2,500 crores to 72.22 lakh employees is now being proposed to be provided by extending this contribution for the next 3 months also. June, July, and August 2020, the EPF contribution will be paid by Government of India, and this shall provide 2,500 crore liquidity support. So what was given earlier for March, April, and May is now being extended for another 3 months, which will be June, July, and August, and therefore we shall be infusing 2,500 crore liquidity and 72.22 lakh employees will benefit from it.
1,70,000 करोड़ के प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण पैकेज में एक सुविधा दी गई थी कि ईपीएफ जो है, प्रोविडेंट फंड जो है, वो 12% जो कर्मचारी उसका भी और जो नौकरी देने वाला उसका भी 12% भारत सरकार देगी। और ये पहले 3 महीनों के लिए हमने किया था, जिसकी भुगतान कर भी दिया गया पहले 2 महीनों के लिए, और इसको अगले 3 महीने और बढ़ा दिया जाएगा। इसका प्रावधान भी जून, जुलाई और अगस्त के लिए कर दिया गया है। 3,67,000 ऐसी संस्थाओं के 72,22,000 ऐसे कर्मचारियों को इसका लाभ मिलेगा, जब कर्मचारी का 12% हिस्सा भी और नियोक्ता जो नौकरी देने वाला है उसका 12% हिस्सा भी भारत सरकार देगी, और ये कुल मिलाकर 2500 करोड़ के लगभग का लाभ इनको मिलेगा।
The next on EPF again, in order to provide more take-home salary for the employees and also to give relief to employers in the payment of PF for those which have not been covered under the earlier description, which is if you have 100 employees, 90% of whom are drawing less than 15,000, we announced a scheme earlier, which I'm extending for another 3 months. That's what was announced a minute ago. The second one in EPF now is the statutory PF contribution for those who are not covered in the earlier one is being reduced from 12% to 10%. So for the next 3 months, employers need to pay only 10% and not 12% so that they will have some more money in their hands. However, for the central public sector enterprises and for state PSUs, we will continue to pay 12%. So this reduction is not for the government. However, government employees government employer still pays 12%. But employees in these public sector undertakings will be given the advantage of paying only 10%. So a liquidity relief of 6,750 crores for both the employee and employer will be available for the next 3 months.
एक और प्रावधान, क्योंकि आज के समय पैसा कर्मचारी के हाथ में भी कैसे ज़्यादा हो, इसमें भी एक बड़ी राहत देने का प्रयास इसमें किया है कि जो ईपीएफ कंट्रीब्यूशन है, जिनका ईपीएफ का योगदान है, वो ऐसे संस्थानों के लिए और कर्मचारियों के लिए 12% से कम करके 10% अगले 3 महीनों के लिए किया गया है। इससे कर्मचारी भी और संस्थान दोनों को लाभ मिलेगा। लेकिन जो सरकारी हमारी संस्थान है, सेंट्रल पीएससीज हैं, इनके लिए 12% ही रहेगा, उसमें कोई बदलाव नहीं किया गया है। तो इससे कुल मिलाकर 6,750 करोड़ रुपए का लिक्विडिटी सपोर्ट इनको मिलेगा और एक तरह से 6,750 करोड़ रुपया ज़्यादा इनके हाथ में आएगा।
The next one is about non-banking financial companies, housing finance corporations, and microfinance institutions. We have been hearing, in spite of a lot of steps which the RBI took, in spite of all the provisions that we made between the July budget and the February budget, it was felt that the NBFCs were not able to get enough resources. And particularly some NBFCs which were not very highly rated had particular difficulties in comparison to the others. So, Government of India now launches a 30,000 crore special liquidity scheme. Under the scheme, investment will be made in both primary and secondary market transactions where investment grade debt papers, this is not infusing equity, this is taking and buying debt papers of NBFCs, housing finance corporations and microfinance institutions, and not high quality debt papers, they can be investment quality also. So this we expect will have an impact on those struggling NBFCs who need money to carry on with business, and these NBFCs are also those who have been funding MSMEs. So in order for these NBFCs to keep their network of MSMEs served, this infusion is absolutely necessary, and these securities with which you're going to buy these debt papers will be fully guaranteed by Government of India. They will be fully guaranteed by Government of India. We hope that this will also bring in a lot of difference for NBFCs who have access to small and micro units, and therefore we want to ease the flow of credit through these NBFCs who have only not so good debt papers in their hands.